The new Superman movie is pretty good. I actually really like this movie. It's a movie I'm going to need to watch again to get a full grasp on my thoughts because a lot happens in the movie. James Gunn absolutely just tossed us into the universe. Everyone has said this, and they're absolutely right. This is one of the most comic book movies of all time. And I kind of like it. A big thing I noticed is that James Gunn absolutely did things with the major criticisms from the other Superman movies in mind. This movie has a ton of action. A major critique of Superman Returns was the lack of action. Superman is absolutely not invincible, which is a major reason a lot of people give for just disliking the character as a whole. And by far the biggest one, Superman doesn't kill anyone. They make a point to show and tell you directly that Superman only injures people. I think this will be widely regarded as many people's favorite Superman, specifically because this is in every way the Superman from the comics. He's very trusting and lighthearted, he doesn't kill or even swear. This guy makes an actual effort to save a squirrel. I don't know how you get much more Superman than that. And David Cornsweet is perfect. He plays this character to perfection. He does a phenomenal job at making these Boy Scout attributes seem genuine. Superman himself is a 10 out of 10. Lex Luthor was also incredible. This is without a doubt my favorite version of Lex Luthor in live action. This guy is so unlikable in all the best ways. I'm always a massive fan of the professional hater trope for villains. This guy plays Russian roulette with a random civilian because the guy gave Superman food one time. And he kills him. And when he kills him, all he says is, "Wow, that went quicker than I thought." Such a despicable character, I love it. And Nicholas Hoult does a spectacular job in the role. He does such a great job of being intelligent and pretentious, and his rage moments are just the best. And I just love how self-aware this guy is. Superman calls him out for being envious and petty, and Lex just flat out says, "Yes, of course I'm envious." Lex Luthor is another 10 out of 10 character. And the other major Superman character in this movie is Lois Lane, and they nailed it with her too. The actress playing her has such a great dynamic with Superman. I wish we got to see more of her with Clark Kent, but her role in the movie was significant and it works very well. Now this movie introduces the Justice Gang, which is a small little group of superheroes, consisting of Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and a Green Lantern. And Nathan Fillion is the standout as Guy Gardner. Absolutely perfect casting. Mr. Terrific gets the most screen time out of the trio by far, and he's great. He has a fantastic dynamic with Superman. Hawkgirl was very underused compared to the rest of the group, but she had one of the funniest jokes in the movie. And the newest addition to their team was Element Man, who was a nice surprise. We get the least of him because he's not introduced until the halfway point, but he has such a unique power that makes for such interesting action scenes. There's just a scene where he's just a floating head, and different parts of his body are different things that are actively injuring the LexCorp soldiers. I'm not kidding when I say every single one of these characters is a character I'd be happy to see, and I actively want to see more of going further in the DC universe. And aside from Lex Luthor, the other two villains we get are Ultraman and the Engineer. The Engineer is kind of just a nothing villain, and Ultraman is by far the more important one. There is a reveal of who he is, so spoiler alert in case you care. It's not a crazy spoiler, especially if you're familiar with the comics. Ultraman is a Superman clone. I'm actually 100% sure this is going to be Bizarro. This guy is in a purple suit, and Lex goes out of his way to say that his one notable trait is how stupid he is, and Ultraman's part in the story ends by him getting tossed into a black hole, which could very easily lead to the other universe where he's notably from. But the combination of Ultraman and Lex Luthor made for a great threat throughout the movie. I like that without him, Superman really had to hold back for a lot of people to get a leg up on him, and it always made sense when he would hold back. And there's actually a really cool bit where Lex Luthor is so obsessed with Superman that he's memorized all of his moves and has them programmed so he can say what Superman's probably going to do and tell Ultraman how to fight, and Superman just gets his ass beat until he figures out how to get rid of Lex telling him what to do. Now, this movie isn't perfect. The story has so much crammed into it, And while I followed it, this movie can definitely be very unforgiving for casual fans because they really just say a lot of crazy concepts and just expect you to go with it. And I was able to follow it because I'm a massive comic book fan and I watch all these movies. But for someone who's just going to the movies for the first time, when they hear about a pocket universe that's made of the Big Bang and has a black hole in it and is ripping apart the city because they went through it so many times, it can be a bit much for a newer viewer to just accept. Now, I don't like what they did with Superman's parents. And spoiler ahead, the cameo is Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El, and it's revealed that Superman's parents sent him to Earth to conquer it. Basically, how it goes down in the movie is Superman heard the first half of the message, the second half was damaged, but he built his entire life around hearing the first half, which is that he is supposed to serve humanity and guide them and be a force for good. And then Lex Luthor uncovers the second half and reveals that Superman was meant to conquer them and restart Krypton's population with them. And I really don't like it, mostly because it's just a General Zod mindset. I actually really liked that in Man of Steel, Jor-El pointed out that Krypton failed because of their inability to choose, and that he believes that's what makes humanity great, and Zod is the one that's opposed to this. I always assumed that this was just how it was in the comics, but I really liked it, and I kind of wish they would have stuck with that. And I'm really hoping that in some way it gets retconned into this being somehow Zod's doing. Because Kara also went with him, and she's not conquering Earth either. Now, all that being said, it does work very well with the themes of this individual movie. It's all about Superman learning that his actions dictate who he's supposed to be, and not what other people think of him or think he should be. So it works for the movie. I just kind of wish they would have kept that one bit the same. If General Zod is the villain of the next movie and they reveal that he had something to do with that message, then I think that that could be an interesting idea. But if this is just how it is, without any other context, then I don't like it very much. To end on a more positive note, this movie is very funny. So many of the jokes land for me. This movie has quips, but it comes from people whose personalities don't really demand quips, so it kind of catches you off guard more when Superman makes a joke about Krypto being a bad dog while he's still being 100% sincere. Characters in the movie are a 9 out of 10. There is no weak link. I want to see more of everyone, and some people deserved more screen time, but I can't think of one person I wanted to see less of. Story is a 6.5 out of 10. This is a messy story that isn't as forgiving for non-comic book movie fans, but this will be a blast to rewatch. Acting is a 10 out of 10. Everyone does perfect. Nicholas Hoult is a perfect Lex Luthor, and David Cornsweet is a perfect Superman, and Rachel Brosnahan is a perfect Lois Lane, and everyone else is fabulous in their roles. I can't think of anyone that had to do better. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Visuals are an 8 out of 10. I thought this movie looked amazing. This is such a CGI heavy movie, and the fact that this looks this great, but The Flash looked like shit, is inexcusable. Action is an 8 out of 10. This movie has plenty of action to offer, and it's all great. They actually do enough interesting things with Guy's Green Lantern powers. Mr. Terrific has a fun action scene where he wipes the floor with some henchmen to a song, and Superman's short but awesome fight against the Luthor soldiers was my favorite bit of the entire movie. Overall, this movie's an 8.5 out of 10. This is, in my opinion, the best Superman movie. Overall, this was a wonderful start to the DCU. While this movie has its problems, they didn't bother me, and this is a must-watch for anyone who loves the Superman character. Guys, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it so much. If you guys like the video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care.